The New Orleans Saints just pulled off one of the most aggressive offseasons in the entire league, and somehow most people still are not paying attention. Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore have torn this roster apart and rebuilt it with purpose. They brought in Travis Etienne to revamp the backfield. They signed David Edwards to solidify the offensive line. They added Noah Fant to give the passing game a weapon at tight end. And all of this surrounds a young quarterback in Tyler Shuck, who showed the league exactly what he could do when he finally got his shot. This is not the same Saints team that struggled through the early part of 2025. This is a franchise that smells blood and is sprinting toward something bigger. But the offense is only half the story. On the other side of the football, New Orleans brought back Caden Ellis at linebacker and still has Chase Young anchoring the edge. The defense has pieces, real ones, and the Saints are not done adding to it. The 2026 NFL Draft is less than a month away, and the Saints are sitting at number 8 overall, with a roster that has already checked off most of its biggest needs through free agency. That means when draft night comes, they are not desperate. They are dangerous. They can take the best player on the board without reaching, without panic, without forcing a pick that does not fit. And here's where it gets really interesting. The Saints have been quietly building a connection with one of the biggest college football programs in the country, and the players coming out of that program could change everything for New Orleans. On top of that, there's a trade brewing behind the scenes that most fans have not even considered yet. So buckle in, because the Saints are not just rebuilding. They are reloading. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Saints and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. The Saints just signed Zach Wilson to a 1-year deal, and most people brushed it off as a depth move. But this signing tells you way more than what is on the surface. Tyler Shuck is the guy in New Orleans. That has been clear since the moment he took over the starting job and elevated the entire offense. But what this move really signals is that Spencer Rattler is on his way out. Not because he is a bad quarterback. He showed real flashes and has genuine arm talent. But when the guy ahead of you is clearly better and the team signs someone else to back him up, the writing is on the wall. What makes this even smarter is the stylistic fit. Zach Wilson is a pocket passer who can push the ball downfield, which mirrors how Tyler Shuck operates at 6'5" with excellent arm strength from the pocket. Spencer Rattler, on the other hand, is more of a scrambler, a creator with his legs, someone who plays a completely different brand of football. If Shuck goes down, you want the backup to run the same system without flipping the entire offense upside down. Wilson fits that mold. Rattler does not. That is not disrespect. That is just smart roster construction from Kellen Moore and the coaching staff. Now here is the part nobody is talking about. Bush Rattler is on one of the most tradable contracts in the entire NFL. His cap number for 2026 is only about $1.1 million, and in 2027, it bumps to just $1.2 million. That is nothing. Teams are going to call, and the Saints are going to answer. But this is not the only roster piece New Orleans could flip for draft capital. There's another player on this team that most fans are completely sleeping on. The New Orleans Saints lost Demario Davis this offseason, and that was a tough goodbye. But the front office did not sit around feeling sorry for themselves. They went out and signed Caden Ellis to a significant deal, bringing him back to anchor the linebacker room. Behind him, you have Danny Stutzman, Jalen Ford, and Isaiah Stallbird, all young, all hungry, and all ready to prove they belong on the field. So where does that leave Pete Werner? Right in the middle of a very real trade conversation that could save the Saints over $6 million in cap space if he is dealt after June 1st. Let me be clear, Pete Werner is not a bad football player. He has been a quality contributor for this defense, and any team that trades for him would be getting a reliable, experienced linebacker who knows how to play winning football. But the Saints have a logjam at the position now, and the young guys need reps. Specifically, Danny Stutzman is a wrecking ball who the coaching staff needs to unleash. He has the speed, the instincts, and the physicality to be a game changer in this defense if they just let him play. You do not develop talent by keeping it on the bench behind veterans who could bring back assets. Trading Werner instead of cutting him is the smart play because you actually get something in return. A mid-round pick, a late-round pick, whatever it is, that is more value than just releasing him and getting nothing. And if the Saints draft another linebacker in April, you can almost guarantee Werner will be moved. But trades and cap savings are just one piece of the puzzle. There is something happening between this franchise and one specific college program that could define the Saints for years to come. The New Orleans Saints sent a small army to the Ohio State Pro Day, and that was not by accident. Kellen Moore was there. Jeff Ireland was there. Brandon Staley was there. Keith Williams was there. When your head coach, your general manager level scouts, and your defensive coordinator all show up to the same campus on the same day, you are not just browsing. You are shopping with a plan. And reports from Nick Underhill confirm exactly that, because the Saints took multiple Buckeyes out to dinner, including Caleb Downs, Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Tywone Malone, and Cade McDonald. That is not casual interest. That is deep evaluation. Kellen Moore spoke publicly after the Pro Day and made a point to praise the character of the Ohio State players, saying they are excellent people and really good football players who are prepared for the NFL. That word, character, keeps coming up with this coaching staff. It is clearly a priority in how Moore wants to build this roster, and the Buckeyes fit that standard. The fact that the Saints brought multiple players to the same dinner tells you they are not just targeting one guy. They want to see how these prospects interact in a relaxed setting, how they carry themselves off the field, because that matters just as much as the tape. Now here's where this gets really fun. Two of those players at dinner could legitimately be the pick at number 8 overall, and both of them would fill massive holes on this roster. One is a wide receiver who has already told the media he wants to catch passes from Tyler Shuck. The other is a defensive prospect that some evaluators are calling a once-in-a-generation talent. The Saints are locked in on Ohio State, and the Buckeyes might be about to take over New Orleans. Let me tell you about the receiver first. Carnell Tate is not hiding how he feels about the New Orleans Saints. And honestly, that might be the most exciting part of this entire draft process. At the NFL Combine, he was asked which quarterbacks he would love to catch passes from, and he listed Patrick Mahomes, Tyler Shuck, Josh Allen, and Jaden Daniels in that exact order. He put Shuck right next to the biggest names in the sport. Then at the Ohio State Pro Day, he went even further, talking about Keith Williams, the Saints wide receiver coach, saying every time they see each other, they laugh and joke around, and that Williams told him he would love to coach him if the opportunity comes. Tate finished by saying, if all the cards fall right, he will be a Saint. That is not subtle. And the tape backs up every bit of that confidence. In 2025, Carnell Tate posted an 85.7% contested catch rate, going 12 for 14 in those situations. That number is absurd. He is the best wide receiver in this entire draft class, with elite route running, incredible body control, and the mindset of a true number 1 target. He is also a willing blocker who plays with an alpha mentality on every single snap. Pair him with Chris Olave, and suddenly Tyler Shuck has a legitimate 1A, 1B receiving duo that changes the math for every defensive coordinator in the NFC South. But here's the thing that makes the Saints' draft position so fascinating. Carnell Tate might not even be the best option at number 8. There's another Ohio State player who has been described as an extension of the defensive coordinator, a player so rare that trying to overthink the pick might be the biggest mistake New Orleans could make. And that player is up next. Caleb Downs is not just another safety in this draft class. He is the kind of player that changes how an entire defense operates the second he steps on the field. At the NFL Combine, he told the media that his confidence never drops no matter the circumstance, and that his mind puts him above most people in how he processes the game and plays with instincts. That is not arrogance. That is a player who understands exactly what makes him different. Evaluators have described him as an extension of the defensive coordinator, someone who sees the play before it develops and reacts faster than anyone else on the field. Brandon Staley would have a chess piece that can line up in multiple spots and create total chaos for opposing offenses. Now, some fans are going to hear safety at number 8 and immediately push back. And that reaction is understandable because traditionally, you want to go edge rusher, wide receiver, or quarterback in the top 10. But Caleb Downs is not a traditional safety. He is a one-of-one type player who creates flexibility in the entire defensive back room. The Saints already have Justin Reed and Jonas Sanker, who is heading into a promising second year. So bringing in Downs does not mean you are replacing anyone. It means you are unlocking the ability to move pieces around, play to everyone's strengths, and create a secondary that opposing quarterbacks have nightmares about. The message with Caleb Downs is simple. Do not overthink it. If he is sitting there at number 8, the Saints would be getting a player who could anchor this defense for the next decade. He is special. He is rare. And trying to talk yourself out of the pick because of positional value might be the one mistake you cannot afford to make. But the question remains, should the Saints even stay at 8? Or should they trade the pick entirely? That answer might surprise you. The 8th overall pick is the single most valuable asset the New Orleans Saints currently possess, and every team in the league knows it. Teams are going to call wanting to trade into the top 10. Analysts are going to suggest the Saints move back and stockpile picks. Pro Football Focus even said that trading down may offer the most value by allowing New Orleans to accumulate extra draft capital and address multiple roster holes. And sure, on paper, that logic makes sense. But here is why the Saints should ignore all of it and stay exactly where they are. Mickey Loomis has made roughly 27 trades during his tenure, and he has never once traded back in the first round of the NFL draft. Not once. That tells you everything about how this front office operates. When the Saints are on the clock, they make their pick and they move forward. Do not trade the 8th pick for A.J. Brown. Do not trade it for Max Crosby. Do not package it in some blockbuster deal that sounds exciting on social media, but leaves you without a foundational piece. The Saints filled major needs in free agency already with Travis Etienne, David Edwards, Noah Fant, and Caden Ellis. That work gives them the luxury of sitting at 8 and simply taking the best player on the board, whether that is Caleb Downs, Carnell Tate, or an edge rusher like Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami. The power of this draft position is that the Saints do not need to force anything. They are not desperate. They are not scrambling to fill 5 holes at once. They did that work already. Now they get to be patient, trust their board, and add a game-changing talent to a roster that is already on the rise. But the draft is only one part of the offseason equation. There are still moves that could shake this roster before week 1 even arrives. The Chris Olave contract situation needs to get resolved, and it needs to happen soon. Reports say extension talks have already taken place and a deal almost got done. But as of right now, pen has not hit paper. Olave had a massive breakout in 2025 once Tyler Shuck took over at quarterback. The chemistry between those two was instant and obvious. But he is a 1,000-yard receiver when he is healthy and available, and his best season in the NFL came last year playing alongside Shuck. The price tag is only going up every week the Saints wait. Pay the man now. Lock him in. Remove the distraction and let him focus on building something even bigger in year 2 with his quarterback. Then there is the Alvin Kamara question that nobody has a clean answer to yet. The Saints signed Travis Etienne to a 4-year deal, and Kamara has said publicly that he would rather retire than play for another team. His contract was restructured so that only $3 million is guaranteed out of over $10 million on the books, giving the Saints flexibility no matter what happens. There is a world where Kamara and Etienne coexist as a devastating 1-2 punch in the backfield, and honestly, that would be fun to watch. But the Saints are clearly turning the page to a new era, and however this plays out, New Orleans has protected itself financially. And finally, the Spencer Rattler trade is coming. Whether it happens during the draft when a team needs a quarterback, during training camp when someone gets hurt, or during the regular season before the trade deadline, the Saints are going to flip Rattler into draft picks. The Las Vegas Raiders could want him as a bridge behind Fernando Mendoza. The Los Angeles Rams could see him as a post-Matthew Stafford option. A contending team might want him as insurance. Either way, the Saints have positioned themselves perfectly. This offseason has been a masterclass, and the 2026 draft is about to put the finishing touches on something truly special in New Orleans.